Hi, my name is Dr. Fab, and I just listened to the comments made by President Trump on his way to the Middle East, and I have a few comments on his comments. And the first one is he said that this is a great deal and everyone is happy. He's wrong. It's not a great deal, and Palestinians at large are not happy. The world supporting them is not happy. When you talk about, the first reason is when you talk about the yellow line, what do you mean by the yellow line? What we are looking at is a different map of Gaza. We are seeing a new Gaza being carved out of the old Gaza that is smaller. And technically, what you have done through this fake peace deal is that you have given a warranty of more territory being handed over to Israel. And this is not a peace deal. This is not how peace works. The people of Gaza and Palestinians at large will not allow their territory to be handed over to Israel after 2 years of genocide. They have sacrificed more than 68,000 civilians for their freedom, for their sovereignty. And they are not going to agree to giving this land beyond the yellow line to Israelis. So this is not something that's a win-win situation for everyone. This is a pro-Israeli peace plan that is going to give Israel more control over the lives of Palestinians and give them more territory out of the entire 2 year of genocide in which millions of people of Gaza have sacrificed their livelihoods, their present, their future, their everything. And to just shrug it off and say, oh, you know what, this is a great deal, they're going to do very well. What do you mean by that? This is not a great deal. The second thing is that you have said that Hamas is going to surrender and you're going to demilitarize the entire Gaza and you're going to de-radicalize the entire Gaza. You have to realize who is the radical entity over here. The genocide of more than 68,000 civilians of Gaza, in which we have doctors and we have paramedics, we have nurses, we have activists, we have journalists, we have United Nations volunteers getting assassinated, getting bombed indiscriminately. We have children, almost 20,000 children getting killed. This is not, you cannot just shrug it off and say that, this is a good deal. Because the radical element that committed the genocide needs to be de-radicalized. And there is no single point in the entire peace plan that talks about de-radicalizing Israel and the Israeli leadership and even the Israel civilian population that have supported this genocide wholeheartedly. They have been making public statements that you should kill all of them, you should treat them like cockroaches, you should exterminate them. This is an extermination, elimination project. And so isn't that radical? So shouldn't the Israelis be de-radicalized? And then when you say the demilitarization of Gaza, how can you stand behind the demilitarization of Gaza when Israeli forces will be standing with their weapons behind that yellow line, which belongs to the people of Gaza? So you cannot demilitarize Gaza when you have the Israeli soldiers standing there, breathing down the literally millions of people of Gaza with weapons in their hands and with threats to bomb them, with threats to detain their kids like they have always done, with threats to destroy their livelihoods or destroy their infrastructure again. This is not a peace deal. This is not demilitarization. There will not be any demilitarization of Gaza if Israeli forces stay within the territories of Gaza. Because In response to the militarization and the presence of IDF behind that yellow line, you're going to have newer groups come out and spring up within the Gaza population who would want to have justice for the massacre that was committed by the Israeli forces for the last 2 years. People are not going to sit down and watch in silence and take you as a messiah who solved the entire conflict, who basically created a peace, a fake peace for them. They are not going to sit back. They have lost their families. They have lost their children. They have lost their parents. They have lost their everything. And they're upset. They're bruised. They're wounded. And their souls are hurt. This is not something you can shrug it off and say, oh, it's the greatest deal. In any deal, everybody has to benefit. Who is benefiting here? Who is benefiting here? The people of Gaza are not benefiting. First of all, they're losing territory. They, as per the yellow line plan that you pushed for, they have lost significant amount of territory of Gaza that belonged to them. And this is a betrayal to them after they sacrificed more than 68,000 of their civilians in this. After this genocide, you have no sympathy for the victims of the genocide. You are not even able to state this as a genocide. And then you talk about de-radicalization of the people of Gaza. What do you mean by that? What Israel did in the last 2 years is a proof that it is a radical terrorist entity in the region. It's a destabilizing factor, and it has to be de-radicalized first because it believes in bombing anyone, anywhere, indiscriminately. It has bombed so many countries with sovereign constitutions, with independent territories. We are talking about Syria, we are talking about Yemen, we are talking about Lebanon, we are talking about even Iraq, we're talking about even Egypt. Egypt that has been trying to play a role of a mediator all this time, listening patiently to everything, got threatened by Israel as well. And they said, oh, it was just a fluke. So you have to understand that without de-radicalizing Israel, there cannot be any peace. Without removing IDF from the territories of Gaza, there cannot be any peace. And then we can move forward with whatever you're pushing for. But the talks are not going to go any further till the entire zone of Gaza is removed from the presence of the IDF, and also the Israeli population, the Israeli forces are de-radicalized, because what they did in the last 2 years has not just offended the Palestinians, it has not just offended the Muslim countries, it has offended every human being on earth. We are seeing a record number of protests erupting like a volcano all over the world, regardless of people's nationality, their religion, their sect, their backgrounds, their dialect, their political ideology. People are coming out for the Palestinians. And this connection that they feel, that they have with the victims of genocide, you cannot break or sever this connection with your bogus peace strategies. This is not going to work, and this is not even acceptable. I have every objection over the peace statements that you made, because you're not actually creating peace. You are planting more conflict. You are planting more volatility by promoting the interests of Israel in the region. By handing over territory of Gaza to Israel, you have technically favored Israel already. So you're not even neutral. You're not even in a position to make a decision about the lives of millions of people of Palestine. Why? I have a proof for that. First of all, in every United Nations Security Council meeting about resolutions that were passed to end the genocide, you vetoed those resolutions. You single-handedly, representing the government of the United States of America, vetoed every resolution that was processed in the United Nations Security Council to end the genocide. This is one of the biggest proofs that you are not neutral. You're complicit in this genocide, and your so-called drama about peace, nobody's buying it. Nobody believes you. Nobody trusts you. Nobody even thinks that you can have the position to dictate peace to other people, because that peace is not peace. That peace is basically a fake, bogus agenda to advance the Greater Israel plan by handing over territory of Gaza that belongs to the Palestinian people to Israel, by continuing to militarize Gaza with IDF when you say it has to be demilitarized. But you're letting IDF stay in Gaza. How can it be demilitarized if IDF is going to stay there? And then you want to build your corporate Trump land, you want to build your Riviera, you want Jared Kushner, your son-in-law, to make money out of the whole genocide, make it profitable for you. How can you be neutral? How can you be in a position to act as a peace ambassador when all you are, in reality, you're just a corporate, corrupt, selfish thug? That's what you are. You are a war criminal because you vetoed every resolution that wanted to end the genocide for the last 2 years. You also funded Israel. You gave Netanyahu standing ovation, even though the International Criminal Court had indicted him as a war criminal, had convicted him as a war criminal. You gave him a standing ovation as if he's a war hero. He's not a war hero. He's been killing, massacring, he's been butchering children, 20,000 children. He has butchered more than 68,000 civilians. And you are giving him a standing ovation, a pat in the back. How can you say you are in a position to even dictate peace to anybody? You are not in that position. Nobody trusts you. Nobody believes you. Nobody cares what you say. And Nobel Prize, forget about it. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. You have not made any effort to end this genocide. If you had that sincere effort, you would have stopped any arms supplies to Israel a long time ago. You would have stood up like many other politicians in the US and said, no more. I can't stand by this genocide. I can't do this. You would have called Netanyahu. You would have told Netanyahu that you cannot support this ongoing butchering and massacres and genocidal terrorism anymore. You wouldn't have, and within US, you wouldn't have detained so many innocent children of one of the best schools of United States just because they wanted the government of US to stop the genocide. This is single proof to tell about, to tell the world, to expose your duplicity, to show the world how fake you are, what a hypocrite you are, and what you're trying to achieve through this whole drama that you have orchestrated. And when you say, oh, the Muslim governments are helping me, and Qatar is helping me, and Saudi Arabia is helping me, UAE is helping me, Egypt is helping me, nobody cares about that. Honestly, nobody cares. The world, Muslim or non-Muslim, stands with the people of Palestine. They stand with the victims of the genocide. Nobody cares about who's helping you, who's not helping you. The history is going to decide and dictate. History is being written right now. And they know you are not on the right side of history. Neither are your allies, neither are your comrades, because what you are doing is you are giving territories of Gaza to Israel. You are continuously militarizing Gaza with the presence of IDF behind that so-called yellow line, which is technically half of Gaza. So you're basically saying that half of Gaza will not have IDF in it, but half of Gaza will have IDF in it, and they will continue to occupy it, they will continue to plunder it, they will continue to militarize it, they will continue to persecute it, they will continue to destroy the freedom, the sovereignty of the people of Palestine. So this is not peace. And then you're going to give BlackRock a contract, or you're going to have one of your own companies to build infrastructure on the coastline of Gaza for your profits, to make Jared Kushner a billionaire or a trillionaire. And you want us to believe that you actually believe, and you believe in peace, and you want to save millions of lives. Where was your passion for saving millions of lives when the United Nations Security Council was passing resolutions in the United Nations Security Council, when the whole world was standing by those resolutions, even your NATO allies, and they wanted to stop the genocide, and you said no? You vetoed every attempt to end the genocide in the last 2 years in the United Nations Security Council. You even tried to sanction the International Criminal Court and the ICJ judges because you thought that they were not supporting Israel, because they wanted to give justice to the people of Palestine, and they wanted to indict the regime of Israel for their war crimes. And you said, no, they can't do that. Why can't they do that? Why are the Israelis above the law, above the international law? Why is the Israeli regime above the international law? The moment you say that they cannot be indicted, they cannot be convicted, that means you are not in the position, you don't want to give justice to the people of Palestine. This means that you're not in a neutral position to execute any kind of peace plan. So you're on your way to the Middle East and Egypt to this great summit, but the summit is not even attended by Hamas. And the summit is attended by most of your allies who believe in the skewed version of peace, when this is not even peace. This is basically more persecution of the rights of sovereignty and freedom of the people of Gaza and of Palestinians. You have basically handed over half of Gaza to IDF and to Israel with your yellow line plan, with your demilitarization concoction. You have stripped the people of Gaza with the right to have self-defense as an option. You basically are also at the same time stripping them of the right to even have a state, because any state has the right to self-defense. If US can have the right to self-defense from any incoming aggression, then why can't the state of Palestine? Why can't they have self-defense? Why can't they have an army? Why can't they have a National Guard? Why can't they have Marine Corps? Why can't they have an Air Force? Why can't they have a legit constitutional army that can bear weapons to protect the lives of the people of Palestine? The moment you strip them of their right of self-defense, you've already told the world that you're not neutral. You're complicit in this genocide. You're supporting one side only, and you are in no way sincere enough to dictate any peace treaty or shove down the throats of not just the Muslims, but the non-Muslims as well, your bogus agenda to create a greater Israel for your son-in-law and also for your own profits. Bye-bye.